Pioneer fans, Pioneer Women's Varsity Lacrosse is live and on the air. Welcome everybody to Hallway Field, where it is your Pioneer Women's Varsity Lacrosse team taking on the Skyline Eagles. Pioneer on the season is 5-6-1 as they fell to Divine Child starting off the season 17-12. They then had a tie. That doesn't happen often, but it did with Plymouth, 14-14 tie back on the 8th of this of last month, April. Don't believe we're already in May. They played Skyline away at Skyline back on the 9th of April. That was a 12-11 overtime win by Pioneer. Then they lost in overtime 10-8 to Fenton back on the 14th. On the 17th, they beat Tecumseh 19-8. They fell to Dexter 13-8. They beat that was Huron 13-5. They fell to Northville back on the 24th of April 18-8. They fell to Saline 11-6. They beat Wixom St. Catharines back on the 30th of last month 14-1. They beat Salem back on the 1st 12-9, and then had a very tight squeaker of a loss 13-12 back on the 4th. They play Skyline today. They're away at Livonia Stevenson on the 7th. And then they're going to play Livonia Stevenson again on the 18th to start off the MHSAA Women's Lacrosse Regional. They are in Region 2. They play Livonia Stevenson at Livonia Stevenson. That's on the 18th. That is a 7:30 p.m. game. We will see if we can get approval to do an audio broadcast of that game. Looks like the women's soccer is going to be playing, it looks like, at Huron. And men's lacrosse, I believe, has a game. If the bracket is correct, they have a game versus Huron here at Hallway Field to start off on the 26th. And then they play the rest of that regional at Detroit Catholic Central over in Novi. So playoffs are coming. We don't have a lot of games left. Unfortunately, we won't be able to be for the soccer game tomorrow, as I do have to work till 5:30. But we'll do as much as we can. This is senior night, so coming up, we will have a senior celebration coming up in not that much time. As soon as the PA announcer hops on, we will turn it over to them. So taking a look, by the way, at the playoffs, it starts again on the 18th, 7:30, Livonia Stevenson versus Pioneer at Livonia Stevenson. If Pioneer can win that game, they will play Northville at Northville on the 20th, and then they play the winner of South Lyon versus the winner of Canton Novi, the winner of that game, on the 27th at 7 p.m. at Northville. So that is the Tom Holzer Field, typically at Northville where they play. That is at the elementary school over there. I think that's is that Cook's Elementary School, where you go for that. But first they'll have to get past Livonia Stevenson. Taking a look at Skyline, Skyline is 5-7 on this season, as they started off with a loss to Salem back on the 18th of March, 9-8. They lost to DeWitt 15-2. That was at DeWitt. They beat Canton at home by a score of 8-7. They had that overtime loss to Pioneer at home. On the 13th of April, they beat Walled Lake Central 16-3. They fell to Plymouth on the 17th. That was a 13-8 loss. They fell to Saline 9-3. That back on the 20th of April. They beat Tecumseh 13-2 back on the 22nd of April. On the 24th, they beat Temperance Bedford by a score of 8-7. They beat Huron on the 27th by a score of 12-10 in overtime. They lost to Dexter 9-5 and lost to Ann Arbor Father Gabriel Richard 11-4. They play Pioneer today. Then their next game is on the 14th. They are in Region 6 as they will be playing Wixom St. Catherine over at Saline High School. So they play at Saline their first game, Pioneer over at Livonia Stevenson. As we'll play a few messages from the MHSAA here as everyone getting warmed up. And as soon as the senior celebration starts, we'll switch it over and pull our field mic up so you can hear the public address announcer to celebrate the seniors. It's always kind of a mixed emotion on senior night, especially for spring sports, because you're, happy for the seniors and you want to celebrate all the time they've dedicated to Pioneer teams and being great teammates and great students and great athletes, and really appreciate their time with Pioneer. Excited to see what they can do next. All these amazing, wonderful players. There's 6 seniors out here for Pioneer, and we're excited to see where they go in their next adventure. We're sure they'll do amazing. But we know that their time wearing the purple and white is very limited. For this women's lacrosse team, we won't get to see them wearing that purple and white at home again. So a little bittersweet day for Senior Day. The seniors, number 5, Ann McGowan is a senior. Number 6, Ann Zarinsky is a senior. Number 7, Margaret Lamb is a senior. Number 15, Sydney Cortina is a senior. Number 87, Jayla Thomas is a senior. And number 89, Heather Beck is a senior. So we want to congratulate and thank all those wonderful, amazing seniors for all their time and all the joy they've given us playing for the purple and white. Let's have a couple messages from the MHSAA. We will be right back. You're watching Pioneer Women's Varsity Lacrosse, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the Specialized Sports Parent Support Group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, Still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform? Why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted. Just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You're hearing it. The message is getting through to parents. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Think of a high school game as a 4-lane highway. Coaches, players, officials, and spectators, each with their own lane. Sportsmanship depends on everyone not crossing over the line. Fans keep it between the lines when they cheer positively for their team. So don't cause an accident. Stay in your lane and let the coaches, players, and officials do their jobs. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Power Ratings will be used this year in soccer, basketball, and boys lacrosse to seed the district tournament in those sports, and you can follow along. Visit your school's page on the MHSAA website to see how your team is faring, and you can look at statewide lists as well. And if you see your team is missing a score, submit it. Learn more about the Michigan Power Rankings at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
to go with the senior celebration. You can see the players getting ready. Let's turn it over to our public address announcer.
Skyline seniors, if you could please join us up by the 50-yard line. Skyline seniors.
As both the JV and the non-senior varsity traded a little tunnel with their sticks there for the seniors. 6 seniors for Pioneer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for Skyline. Pioneer in their home white jerseys with the purple numbers on the front and on the back, Pioneer block lettering on the front, the dark shorts. Skyline is in their dark blue jerseys with the numbers in light blue on the front and the back, Skyline in block lettering on the front, the dark blue shorts. As they're getting all the players ready there for the senior celebration.
Welcome everyone to Pioneer Lacrosse Senior Night. To get started, we will recognize the Skyline seniors who are joining us tonight. In number order, we have number 3, Mackenzie Turek. Number 8, Juliana Bailey. Number 11, Heather Seibert. Number 14, Gabby Arota. Number 17, Sophia Nazarian. Number 23, Ella Goldstein. And number 27, Molly Greenberg. Congratulations to all of the Skyline seniors. Now on to our Pioneer Lacrosse seniors. Our senior players hold a special place in our hearts, and tonight we're honored to recognize them and wish them all the best as they move on to do wonderful things. First tonight we have number 89, Heather Beck. Tonight Heather is escorted by her mom, Jeanette Beck. Heather's been with Pioneer Lacrosse for 4 years. Her favorite memory is winning against Skyline in overtime. After finishing the school year, Heather will be attending Michigan State University and is planning to study child psychology. Heather's advice for others is to always focus on your personal growth and what you can do to improve. Enjoy every season because it goes by fast this year. Congratulations, Heather. Next, we have number 15, Sydney Cortina. Sydney's escorted by her mom, Lilia, her dad, Kai, and her brother, Roman. Sydney's been with Pioneer Lacrosse for 3 years. Her favorite memory is the whole team singing Bruno Mars on the bus ride home after a win. After finishing school this year, Sydney will be attending the University of Michigan. She's planning to study molecular biology and particle physics. Sydney's advice to others is to enjoy it while it lasts. Congratulations, Sydney. Next we have number 7, Maggie Lamb. Maggie is escorted by her mom, Jennifer Lamb, and her dad, Jeffrey Lamb. Maggie's been with Pioneer Lacrosse for 4 years. She's graduating from community high school this year, and her favorite memories are beating Skyline in overtime this year and the long bus ride. After this school year, Maggie will be attending Denison University, where she's committed to play field hockey. Maggie's advice to others is to try hard and give 100% effort, but also make sure you're having fun. Congratulations, Maggie. Next, we have number 5, Anne McGowan. Anne is escorted by her mom, Sherry, and her dad, Blake. Anne has been a part of Pioneer Lacrosse for 4 years. Her favorite memory is when Pioneer beat Skyline last year. It was a great game. They played as a team and fought hard to take home the win. After finishing the school year, Anne will be attending the University of British Columbia. She'll be studying psychology and playing field hockey for UBC. Anne's advice to others is to try new things and feel comfortable being uncomfortable. The more you try, the more you're able to learn about yourself and grow from your experiences. Congratulations, Anne. Next, we have number 87, Jayla Thomas. Tonight, Jayla is escorted by Dave Thomas and Kathy Thomas. Jayla has been with Pioneer Lacrosse for 4 years. Her favorite relax memory is playing defense in a JV game for the first time after begging Claire to put her in for 30 minutes. Jayla plans to attend the University of Pittsburgh for the next 4 years, majoring in chemistry on the pre-med track with the goal of becoming a pediatrician. Jayla's advice for others is to try something new every chance you get, even if you feel unsure about it. You never know, those moments might turn into the best memories you make. Congratulations, Jayla. Next we have number 6, Grace Zarinsky. Grace is escorted by Bill, her father, Ruth, her mother, and Leela, her sister. Grace has been a part of Pioneer Lacrosse for 4 years. Grace's favorite relax memory is the women's versus men's game last year. Next year, Grace will be attending the University of Miami in Florida. Grace's advice to younger players is, do wall ball. It helps. A lot. Congratulations, Grace. Let's have one more round of applause for all of our seniors. Our match will commence in very shortly, just a few seconds here. Congratulations to all the seniors, Pioneer seniors, and Skyline seniors. Enjoy the game.
Again, congratulations to all the wonderful, amazing seniors out there for both teams. We appreciate them, and we know that they will go on to do amazing things. So they're getting a couple photos. We got 12 minutes up on the clock. As lots of the seniors mentioned beating Skyline as their happiest Pioneer women's lacrosse memory. We'll see if that gets Skyline going or not. Again, these two teams played till overtime over at Skyline, and it was a 1-goal win by Pioneer. They'll hope to hold serve on home court. At this point in the SEC, Celine, I believe, has the SEC wrapped up for women's lacrosse. They're 4-0. Pioneer 2-1, Skyline 2-2 in third and fourth spot. cool day out here. It's supposed to get even colder this weekend, but it is 54 degrees here at game time. Cloudy day with a few spots of blue up there, but mainly cloudy. So they're getting worked up. They're going to get lined up for stick check here for both of these squads, and then we'll have the national anthem, and we will get going. So let's play just a couple more messages from the MHSAA, and we will get this game going very shortly.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the Specialized Sports Parent Support Group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Ann Arbor Pioneer Women's Lacrosse. For the past 70 years, Hallway Field has honored the contribution of women's hallway to Ann Arbor High School athletics. We thank you for attending today's Varsity Southeastern Conference match between the Skyline Eagles and your Ann Arbor Pioneers. Tonight, we also honor our seniors and the dedication they have demonstrated to the Pioneer Lacrosse program. Now, let's introduce today's team roster. First, for the Eagles, number 3, Mackenzie Turk. Number 4,
Yeah, so they're working on getting the sound going there.
Apologies all.
There we go.
Good afternoon and welcome to Pioneer High School Hallway Field in the 19th season of Ann Arbor Pioneer Women's Lacrosse. For the past 70 years, Hallway Field has honored the contribution of Lou Hallway to Ann Arbor High School athletics. We thank you for attending today's Varsity Southeastern Conference match between the Skyline Eagles and your Ann Arbor Pioneers. Tonight, we also honor our seniors and the dedication they have demonstrated to our Pioneer Lacrosse program. Now, let's introduce today's team roster. First, for the Eagles, number 3, Mackenzie Turek. Number 4, Allie Rothenberg. Number 5, Olivia Hausler. Number 6, Katie South. Number 7, Belladora Hunter. Number 8, Juliana Bailey. Number 9, Annabelle Dahl. Number 11, Heather Schreiber. Number 12, Sophie Youngton. Number 13, Gwendolyn Armstrong. Number 14, Gabriela Arocha. Number 515, Addison Peabody. Number 16, Evelyn Shannon. Number 17, Sophia Nazarian. Number 20, Sophie Ganina. Number 21, Emerson Nalepa. Number 22, Kate Shinsky. Number 23, Ella Goldstein. Number 26, Amelia Meyer. Number 27, Molly Greenberg. Number 28, Olivia Sazin. And number 30, Elizabeth Lavery. And now, your 2026 Varsity Pioneers, number 1, Julie Scherbaum. Number 2, Kate Lyman. Number 4, Anna Chumstead. Number 5, Ann McGowan. Number 6, Grace Zirinsky. Number 7, Maggie Lamb. Number 8, Bridget Uhas. Number 9, Annabelle Yang. Number 10, Lily Boardman. Number 11, Charlotte Wilson. Number 12, Megan Churchill. Number 15, Sydney Cortina. Number 16, Pippa Webb. Number 17, Bridget Hardy. Number 18, Alexis Young. Number 20, Charlotte Horvath. Number 21, Kaya Wong. Number 27, Ellie Heaven. Number 33, Adela Birdsong. Number 87, Jayla Thomas. And number 89, Heather Beck. Before today's match, we would like to take a moment to show our appreciation for our country. We invite those who are able to rise and as a sign of respect, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. I'd like to also take a moment to recognize today's referees. We recognize that these individuals will do their best to call the game fairly and accurately. Fans are encouraged to demonstrate positivity and respect for all players, coaches, and officials. Thank you.
Again, we cannot have the games we love without the officials, so if you think you can do better, reach out to the MHSAA. They have had several games canceled this season or this year due to lack of officials. So before you holler anything from the stands, come on out, give back to the sport. Again, these two teams went to overtime last time they played. Pioneer hoping to get a nice win for senior day. Skyline hoping to play spoiler. It's both teams breaking the huddle. Beck goes down to our right. Over to the left is Lavery. Set for the draw. That popped up high, looking to get to it. Picked up by McGowan. McGowan over the restraining line. McGowan works her way, trying to get between the hash marks. McGowan rakes it up right at the restraining line. Now McGowan goes outside the far hash marks, flips that over to Zarinsky. Zarinsky trying to fire it across the middle. Wong trying to get that, but that fired the other direction by Arocha. Here comes Skyline into the midfield area, pulled away, headed the other direction. Here comes Pioneer as that's fired across by Chamistic. That shot just wide out. Pioneer able to run it out. As Churchill will have it just underneath the goal line, extended on the near wing. That flipped over to Nyman. Nyman goes back behind the goal. Nyman over underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing, comes back over, gets it back to Churchill. Churchill goes back behind the goal from the near side to the far side. Churchill looking for a place to go with it, being marked out there by Rothenberg. Churchill goes directly behind the goal, flips it over. That rolls towards the restraining line. So that tip back by Young, trying to rake it up is Zarinsky, grabbed, and coming ahead with it is Arocha. Arocha coming down outside the numbers on the near wing, over midfield. Arocha heads towards the middle of the field, now comes back down the near sideline. Arocha gets into the offensive zone. She flips that over, trying to bring that around is Turf. Turf goes underneath the goal line extended. Fire back over on the far wing to Greenberg. Greenberg goes even with the goal on the far wing. Greenberg being marked by Wilson, goes down onto the turf, raked up by Cortina. Cortina coming down the hash marks on the far wing into the midfield area. Cortina now comes down the numbers, gets over midfield. Cortina racing down towards the restraining line, spins with it. Cortina floats it over, grabbed by Lamb. Lamb over the restraining line into the offensive zone. Lamb gets it inside the 8-meter arc, fired, and a goal! Lamb puts it in at 9:52 to start off the scoring.
Pioneer goal by Maddie Lamb at 9:52 in the first quarter.
Pioneer gets the early 1-goal lead. They'll try and get a goal run going early. Set for the draw. That I believe is Wong in to take the draw versus Arocha. Popped up high, trying to get to it is McGowan. That raked up, taking it the other direction is Bailey. Bailey comes outside the numbers on the near wing. Bailey switches shoulders, trying to get away from Zarinsky. Bailey over midfield, coming down the near sideline, out of bounds. That will be Pioneers' ball. And sometimes with all the lines between football and soccer and men's and women's lacrosse, some of those lines get a little confusing. Wong over midfield, coming down on the near hash marks. Wong floats it over, that raked up by Cortina. Cortina outside the far hash marks. Makes her way over to the 12-meter fan. Cortina fires it, that ball low. Trying to rake it up over there is Nyman. Loose, Cortina trying to get to it, still in a scrum over there. And into the crease, that grabbed by Lavery. Lavery skies it all the way towards midfield on a bounce, that grabbed. Now bringing it in, racing ahead with it is Chamistek. Chamistek has it. Back on the end line, rakes it up. Nyman has it. Nyman underneath the goal line, extended on the near wing. Flips that over. Churchill directly behind the goal. Churchill over the goal line, extended. Shot. Save there by Lavery. Lavery has it in the crease. Moves it over. Ball loose. Zarinsky trying to get to it now. Lamb popping it up. Schreiberg trying to pull it away. That grab by Pioneer. Lamb makes her way between the hash marks just on the 8-meter arc. Lamb flips it over on the far wing. That grab by McGowan. McGowan just outside the far hash marks. McGowan right on the 12-meter fan. McGowan skies it over to Wong. Wong going from the near side to the far side. Wong between the hash marks, back over to Lamb. Lamb makes her way inside the 8-meter arc. Lamb goes underneath the goal line, extended, directly behind the goal. Lamb trying to make it over the goal line, extended. Lamb flips it back over on the far wing. Wong coming in with it. Wong, shot, and a goal! Pioneer puts it in at 7:32. Wong with the score.
Pioneer goal by Kyle Wong at 7:32 in the first quarter.
Pioneer opens up with a 2-goal run against Skyline on senior night. They'd love to keep control of this game. Skyline's going to try and stop that goal run and get one of their own. Wong again versus Arocha for the draw as they get those crosses backwards together. They'll get him parallel to the center line, and then they'll have to draw that directly above their head for a valid draw. Ball on the ground, that raked up. Here comes Skyline coming outside the hash marks is Arocha. Arocha racing down into the offensive zone. Arocha has it just outside the near hash marks. Arocha trying to get between the hash marks, coming in with it. Shot and a goal by Skyline. Arocha puts it in at 7-12. Skyline stops the goal run for Pioneer.
Skyline goal by Gabriel Arocha at 7-12 in the first quarter.
2-1, Pioneer with the lead. Skyline would like to get a couple goals strung together. Again, it's Wong versus Arocha. At center, over on the right-hand side. This is that Boardman with, can't quite tell. Zorinsky's over on the left-hand side, over there with Bailey. Popped up high, trying to get to that is Schreiberg. Schreiberg battling with Boardman. Schreiberg trying to rake that up. Wong over there as well. Boardman trying to rake it up as Arocha comes away with it. Arocha for Skyline over midfield. Arocha goes between the hash marks. Arocha trying to get that as that's popped away, but that is going to be a foul-free position for Skyline as Arocha will restart heading towards the offensive zone. Arocha spins with it, trying to get away. That ball's loose. Here comes Pioneer the other direction. It's Churchill has it coming down the numbers on the near wing. Churchill trying to feed it over to Lamb. Lamb rakes it up. Lamb makes her way inside the 12-meter fan, inside the 8-meter arc. Lamb fires it and a bounce shot in. Lamb with her second goal of the game for Pioneer. And at 6:27.
At 6:27 in the first period by Maggie Lamb, second goal of the game.
3-1 Pioneer with the lead. Webb is on the near side of the center circle, joined over there, it looks like, by Bailey. And Wong and Arocha on the draw. Schreiberg joining Boardman again on the right-hand side of the center circle. That ball popped up. Arocha gets it out of midair. Arocha right at center. Flips that over to Bailey. Bailey trying to come between the hash marks. Churchill immediately on top of her. Bailey over the restraining line into the offensive zone. Bailey stops, flips it back to Arocha right at the restraining line. Arocha jogs down towards the 12-meter fan, flips that over to Schreiberg. Schreiberg over on the near wing as that's over to Peabody. Peabody sends it even with the goal. Raked up by Turf. Turf sends it back behind over to Greenberg. Greenberg going from the near side to the far side, underneath the goal line extended. That moved all the way over on the far wing. That's sent right back over by Armstrong. As Greenberg underneath the goal line extended on the far wing, being marked by Wilson. Even with the goal on that far wing. Fired back onto the 12-meter fan is Bailey. Bailey moves it over to Arocha between the hash marks. Arocha gets it over to Schreiberg. Schreiberg just outside the near hash mark. Schreiberg steps back, trying to get a little room to work versus Webb. Move back over to Arocha. Centered up just outside the 12-meter fan. Back over to Schreiberg. Schreiberg steps between the hash marks. Schreiberg gets a running start inside the 8-meter arc. Schreiberg double team there. Ball loose, trying to rake it up. A battle for it on the near wing as trying to grab that is Thomas. Thomas in a scrum trying to pull that away as that goes out of bounds. Who touched it last? It's going to be Skyline as Pioneer has the ball. Bringing it ahead, that ball tipped away, grabbing it and fired all the way across by Greenberg. That ball loose as that'll go over onto the far wing. Sent over by, who's that, Shannon? Now grabbing it is Greenberg. Greenberg, even with the goal on the far wing. Greenberg sends it back over to Bailey. Bailey steps back outside the 12-meter fan. Bailey over to Arocha. Arocha now steps towards the 12-meter fan. Arocha looks to her left, now to her right. Arocha gets that back over to Bailey. Bailey comes between the hash marks. Bailey and Arocha switch spots. Webb watching. Bailey over on the near wing to Schreiber. Schreiber has it working her way around the 12-meter arc. That back over to Bailey. Bailey now goes on the far hash marks. Bailey moves it over to Arocha. Arocha just inside the numbers on the far wing. That ball over to Greenberg. Greenberg trying to get above the goal line extended. That ball loose as a shot. Good save by Beck. That ball raked up by Arocha behind the goal. Arocha goes from the far side to the near side, trying to get around the crease, as that is going to be a whistle and a foul. That is going to be a free position for Skyline, as they'll start on the dot just behind the goal line, extended on the near wing with 3:15 left to go here in the first. 3-1. Pioneer with the lead. Skyline trying to cut it down to a 1-goal lead. Arocha gets it over to Greenberg, trying to fire it out in front. That ball loose. That'll go out of bounds. Run out by Greenberg. That'll stay Skyline ball with 3 minutes left to go here in the first. Greenberg on the far wing. Fires it all the way over. That launched in between. That ball lost by Bailey. That's going to be a whistle. Pioneer ball. So racing down the far wing. Pioneer with it as they get over their defensive zone is Wilson. Wilson down on the far hash marks. Wilson over midfield. Wilson trying to get around Arocha. Wilson into the offensive zone. Wilson stops, flips that back over as Lamb has it. Lamb coming just inside the near hash marks. Lamb working against Bailey. Lamb over on the near wing to Churchill. Churchill jogs around the 12-meter fan. Over on the far wing to Heben. Heben looks to her left. Heben looks to her right. Looking for a place to go. Skied all the way over to Lamb. Lamb grabs it. Lamb trying to make her way inside the 8-meter arc. Lamb walled off there. Fires, and there's a save. As that's grabbed by Lavery. Lavery has it in the crease. That launch towards midfield as that'll roll ahead as coming down the near wing. Here comes Turf. Turf gets over midfield. Turf comes between the hash marks. Turf spins trying to get around Young. That ball flipped over now, coming outside the far hash marks. Here comes Skyline. The thick number's a little hard to read. I think that's Shannon over there. Over to Arocha. Arocha outside the numbers on the far wing. Arocha moves that back over to Shannon. Shannon all the way over to Bailey. Bailey on the near hash marks. Bailey just outside the 12-meter fan. Webb watching her. That ball now over to Peabody. Peabody on the near wing. Peabody gets it over to Turf. Turf even with the goal on the near wing. Turf underneath the goal line extended. Turf gets it over to Greenberg directly behind the goal. Greenberg stops. Looked like she was going over to the far wing. Greenberg moves it over on to the far wing to Arocha. Arocha just outside the far hash marks. Arocha working her way around the 12-meter fan. Arocha between the hash marks now. Arocha trying to make her way in, trying to cut down the near hash marks, goes back behind the goal line extended. Arocha, and they're battling. Chamistic trying to provide coverage. That ball directly behind. Greenberg with it. Greenberg over to Arocha. Arocha over the goal line extended. Arocha spins with it, switches shoulders, trying to get a shot away. That one goes just high, run out by Greenberg. 10 seconds left to go here in the first. Greenberg trying to get over the goal line extended with 5 seconds left. Shot, that goes high. That will be run out by Pioneer, but that will be the end of the first. At the end of one, it is Pioneer 3 and Skyline 1. We'll step away for a few messages from the MHSAA and be right back with your second quarter action.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the specialized sports parent support group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with. to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we are coming out of the quarter break, 3-1 Pioneer with the lead as both teams getting last moment instructions from the coaching staffs across the way. Pioneer on senior day with 6 seniors: Sam McGowan, Grace Zarinsky, Margaret Lamb, Sydney Cortina, Jayla Thomas, and Heather Beck. Pioneers going from left to right here in the second quarter. They have the 2-goal lead. Long versus Arocha again for the draw on the left-hand side. Cortina is over there with Schreiber. On the near side, can't quite see the numbers. Ball set between the crosses. There's the whistle. Ball popped up. Cortina trying to get to it. Arocha rakes it up as she's over the restraining line inside the 8-meter arc. Arocha coming in. Bounce shot there. Goes just wide. Run out by Greenberg. That is going to be Pioneer ball as Pioneer got closest to it. That ball sent down towards the midfield area. Now bringing it right over midfield between the hash marks and into the offensive zone. Racing ahead with it is Hardy. Hardy flips it over to Zarinsky. Zarinsky comes between the hash marks. That shot and just wide by McGowan. That's going to be Skyline who runs it out. They'll have the ball in their own defensive zone. As Bailey brings that ahead. Bailey trying to make her way outside of her defensive zone. Lamb comes over to mark her. Bailey switches shoulders, gets into the midfield area with 11 minutes left to go here in the second. 3-1, Pioneer with the lead. Bailey trying to flip it over on a bounce to Arocha. Arocha comes down the far hash marks. Arocha works outside the 12-meter fan. Arocha goes even with the goal, trying to come in. Arocha bounce shot. Great save by Beck. That ball bringing it ahead. Is racing ahead with it. Here comes Tromistic. Tromistic. That will be a foul. She'll have a free position. She'll restart. Heads right over midfield. Tromistic. And fired. Tipped down by Arocha. Trying to get it over to McGowan. Arocha has it for Skyline. Arocha moves out onto the near wing. McGowan trying to mark her. Trying to make it difficult. Arocha. And coming down the near sideline, Arocha, ball loose, picks it back up on a hop. Arocha feeding it ahead. That ball right at the defensive line, brought down. Here comes Churchill. Churchill loses the ball, trying to get it back. Churchill in a battle back over there with Goldstein. Churchill will restart. She'll have a free position on the numbers on the near wing. Churchill just above the goal line extended. Flips that back over to Zarinsky. Zarinsky over on the far wing. As that's grabbed by Uhas. Uhas over to McGowan. McGowan with the shot. Uhas runs it out. Pioneer keeps possession. Zarinsky has it on the end line. Zarinsky over on the near wing. Zarinsky even with the goal on the near wing. Gets it over to Cortina. Cortina just inside the numbers. Moves that back over to Lamb. Lamb goes inside the hash marks. Working her way around the 12-meter fan. Lamb flips it over onto the far wing. That raked up over there by Churchill. Churchill in a battle. Churchill coming down the near hash mark. Shot there. And deflected wide. Zarinsky closest to it. As Shinsky was the one providing pressure there for Skyline. Uhas will start off with the ball in along the end line on the near wing. Uhas over the goal line extended on the near wing. Uhas comes, flips it all the way over onto the far wing. That ball loose. Trying to rake it up. Pioneer has it. As bringing it ahead. Horvath gets it over. Now that brought over to Hardy. Hardy gets it over to Uhas. Uhas coming down the near hash marks. Uhas moves it back behind as that's over to McGowan. McGowan Just underneath the goal line, extended on the near wing. 8:25 left to go before halftime. Pioneer with the 2-goal lead. McGowan trying to get it over to Lamb. Lamb grabs it on a hop. Lamb goes underneath the goal line, extended from the near side to the far side. Lamb fires it and in. Lamb with a hat trick. She scores her third at 8:10. Pioneer goes up 4-1.
Pioneer goal, number 7, Maggie Lane, hat trick for Maggie with 8:10 left in the second.
4-1, Pioneer with the lead. Trying to avoid the overtime situation they had at Skyline. And Wong and Arocha in to take the draw. On the defensive side is Thomas. Over there, Chemistic. As well as Birdsong on the defensive side. That ball popped up high. Luce trying to rake it up. Still on the ground. Bailey trying to get to it. Now trying to rake it up. That grabbed by Wong. Wong coming down the far sideline. Wong spins with it. Wong making her way towards the restraining line. Wong into the offensive zone. That moved over, knocked away from Zorinsky. Zorinsky trying to track it down. Zorinsky rakes it up as she has it. She heads between the hash marks. Zorinsky switches shoulders. Now coming down the numbers on the near wing. That flipped over to McGowan. McGowan just over the goal line extended. Moved in, trying to get. Cortina puts it in. Cortina from McGowan, and Pioneer goes up 5-1. So Pioneer, they started off with a 2-goal run. Now they have a 3-goal run after the Skyline goal. They'll try and keep that going. Cortina, the goal scorer, heads over on the left-hand side of the center circle, joined by Schreiber. Again, it's Wong versus Arocha for the draw. As that ball popped up high, Arocha trying to get to it. Ball over onto the near wing. Cortina trying to grab that. Now that pulled away as Schreiber heads over the restraining line. Schreiber goes right to the 8-meter arc. Schreiber flips it over on the far wing. As that ball over there, Shannon has it. Shannon sends it even with the goal line. Extended on the far wing as Turf has it. Turf going from the far side, back behind the goal, flips that over to Greenberg. Greenberg just underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. Greenberg now makes her way over onto the near wing. That ball flipped over, moved to Arocha on the near wing. Arocha just inside the numbers. Flip right back over to Bailey. Bailey between the hash marks, right at the 12-meter fan. Bailey calmly surveys the field. Bailey looks to her right, flips that over to Schreiber. Schreiber on the hash marks on the far wing. Back over to Bailey between the hash marks. Bailey looking to her left. Bailey gets it over to Arocha on the near hash marks. Arocha heads down towards the far wing. That ball over to Greenberg. Greenberg underneath the goal line extended. Watched by Thomas. As Greenberg spinning. Shot and a goal by Greenberg. That stops the 3-goal run for Pioneer. So at 6:14, Greenberg puts it in for Skyline.
Skyline goal by number 27, Molly Greenberg with 6:14 in the second period.
5-2, Pioneer with the 3-goal lead. Get on the offensive zone is Lamb, Uhas, Zorinsky, and Churchill. Wong and Arocha for the draw, tipped over onto the near wing. Trying to rake it up, as that's going to be legal procedure. Pioneer ball. Coming ahead with it is Wong. Wong trying to make it over midfield. Wong trying to get around Schreiberg. Wong comes down into the offensive zone. Wong goes even with the goal line extended, or even with the hash marks on the near wing, over to Lamb. Lamb gets it over to Yang. Yang on the near hash marks. Yang coming just outside the near hash marks, moves it back behind to Churchill. Churchill underneath the goal line extended. Over on the far wing to Uhas. Uhas just underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing, trying to get to Lamb. As Lamb trying to rake it up. Ball loose. Still trying to get to it as that's tipped back. And that raked up and grabbed by Goldstein. Goldstein has it back in their own defensive zone. 5:18 left to go. Goldstein trying to get around Uhas. Goldstein on the far sideline. Goldstein gets ahead of steam, trying to head towards the restraining line and get out of her own defensive zone. Goldstein into the midfield area. Goldstein spins with it. That launched, raked up, grabbed, as coming down with it is Webb. Webb into the offensive zone for Pioneer. Webb coming down the numbers on the far wing, whistle there. That's going to be a restart for Webb. She'll be just outside the 12-meter fan on the far, just inside the numbers on the far wing. Trying to make her way in. Webb gets it over to Heben. Heben spinning with it as that shot knocked down, raked up by Arocha. Arocha has it back underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. Arocha trying to get past Uhas, coming down the far sideline. Arocha gets into the midfield area. Arocha comes over midfield, heading towards the offensive zone. Arocha working hard as Wilson trying to wall her off. That ball loose over on the far wing as Bailey trying to get to it as Lamb has it. Lamb coming ahead with it for Pioneer into the offensive zone. Lamb comes between the hash marks, gets a screen from Churchill, comes outside the near hash marks. Lamb heads towards the goal line extended. Lamb underneath the goal line extended. Going from the near side to the far side. Lamb steps right back behind the goal, flips it over to Uhas. Uhas underneath the goal line extended on the far wing. Uhas flips it over to Heben. Heben just outside the hash marks on the far wing, gets that over to Zarinsky. Zarinsky on the near hash mark. Zarinsky moved over, raked up there. Webb has it between the hash marks. Webb flips that over as now moved by Yang back to Webb. Webb just inside the near hash marks. Webb trying to work against Bailey. Webb now coming outside the hash marks. Spins, trying to make her way back in. Ball knocked down. That's going to be a free position for Pioneer. She'll be set up on the 8-meter arc for the free position. Just on that second hash in on the right-hand side. Webb waits for the whistle. Webb races her way in. Webb shot there. That knocked down. Lavery has it, or had it. That ball in on the end line. Trying to bring it ahead. Back as that's going to be a whistle as a restart by Goldstein. Goldstein heading between the hash marks. Goldstein trying to make her way past a quartet of Pioneer players. Goldstein as that tip, she'll restart over midfield, coming down the numbers on the far wing. Goldstein flips it back. Arocha starts off just over midfield. Arocha into the offensive zone. Arocha for Skyline between the hash marks. Heben trying to wall her off. Arocha flips it over on the near wing. That ball over to Shannon. Shannon sends it back over on a bounce. That over to Schreiberg. Schreiberg on the near hash mark. Schreiberg sends it to Bailey between the hash marks, right on the 12-meter arc. Bailey looks to her right. Bailey cuts inside the 8-meter arc. Bailey flips it back over. Grabbed by Schreiberg. Schreiberg making it along the 12-meter fan. Schreiberg over on the far wing. That ball got back over to Arocha. Arocha flips it to Bailey. Bailey just inside the near hash marks for Skyline. Bailey moving it over on the near wing as that's Greenberg. Greenberg goes underneath the goal line extended. Now trying to cut above the goal line extended. Greenberg trying to get around Birdsong. That ball fired as closest to it is going to be Pioneer. Great job by Chamistic to run that out. Here comes Pioneer racing ahead with it. It's that ball outside, coming down the numbers on the near wing. Chamistic gets over midfield. That launched over, trying to grab it is Webb on a hop. Webb trying to rake it up. That grabbed. Now here comes Heben. Heben trying to split a pair of defenders. She ends up on a heap down on the turf. She'll pop up. She's all right. That's going to be a free position for Pioneer as Heben will have it. She'll have it right on the center hash. the right center hash on the 8-meter arc. 56 seconds left to go before halftime. Heben waiting for the whistle. Here comes the whistle. Heben, shot. That one just goes wide. Is Zorinsky battling? That'll go in the crease. Raked up, grabbed by Lavery. 44 seconds left. Lamb trying to make it difficult to get out of the zone. Ball loose. Skyline trying to rake it up. Is Nazarian over there? Ball brought ahead. Here comes Skyline down on the numbers. Nazarian with it. That fired down. 26 seconds left to go. Bringing that ahead is Turif. Turif makes her way down on the far sideline. Out of bounds. That's going to be Pioneers' ball. I believe Wilson has it on the far sideline. Wilson trying to cut towards midfield. Wilson trying to get around Arocha. Turif right behind her. Flipped ahead, grabbed as here comes Yang, and that will do it for the first half. At the end of the first half, it is 5-2, Pioneer with the lead. We'll step away for halftime and be right back with your third quarter action. You're watching Pioneer Women's Varsity Lacrosse, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform, why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
We do want to thank the wonderful sponsors of Pioneer Women's Lacrosse. That includes platinum sponsors 209 Fitness Revolution, Honigman LLP, Joe's Pizza, Stadium Lumber, Heartland Home Services, Crazy Wisdom Publications, and Stadium Market. See if I have any others. There we go. Bronze sponsors includes Ann Arbor Teas, Ann Arbor Drugs, Burns Park Orthodontics, Stallmark Realtors, Man's Hardware, McNamara Orthodontics. Gold sponsors includes 3-in-1 Fitness Revolution, Ann Arbor Rug and Carpet Cleaning, KPMG, Ann Arbor Residential Services, Bellwether Real Estate at Reinhardt Realtors, Go to Roofing, Legacy Oral and Facial Surgery Center, Warren and Sherbaum PLLC, and Scott Conklin Agency. Got to say a nice hello to Scott Conklin. His daughter plays for the JV team, and I happened to go to elementary school with him way back in the day. That will be a lot longer ago than than I care to remember. Somehow he's still willing to speak with me, so that's fantastic. Let's get just a couple more messages from the MHSA, and we will be right back.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform, why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we are about 15 seconds away from the start of the third, both squads getting last moment instructions from the coaching staff. As Skyline heads out onto the field. "12 minutes up on the clock. Pioneer going from right to left. Here in the third, they have a 3-goal lead. Although Skyline has the last goal. It was a 2-goal run by Pioneer. Then Skyline scored at 7-12 in the first. 3-goal run for Pioneer, and then Skyline scored at 6-14 in the second. So Pioneer will try and continue to outscore them and get a big win on senior day. Skyline would love to get a little revenge for the overtime win by Pioneer at their stadium. Popped up high, over trying to get to it is Wong, battling with Arocha. Wong rakes it up. Wong trying to get it on a hop, as that is going to be Pioneer ball. So Wong has it. She'll flip it over, grabbed by Boardman. Boardman trying to make her way into the offensive zone. Boardman coming just outside the near hash marks. Boardman now cuts inside the 12-meter fan. Boardman sidestepping. And flipped over to Zarinsky, just over the goal line extended. Now underneath the goal line extended on the far wing. Zarinsky gets it over as Wong has it. And Wong will send it over to Boardman, just inside the numbers on the near wing. Boardman steps inside the hash marks, flips it back over outside the 12-meter fan, over to Lamb. Lamb moves it over on the far wing to Scherbaum, back to Lamb. Lamb racing inside the 12-meter arc, shot there. That was saved, run out, as Zarinsky has it on the end line for Pioneer. Zarinsky flips that over as Wong underneath the goal line extended on the far wing. Wong gets it over, coming directly behind is Lamb. Lamb fakes the pass, now sends it. Wong has it between the hash marks, moves it over onto the far wing. It's Churchill has it there. Churchill on the far hash marks. Churchill between the hash marks. Churchill trying to run down the far hash mark, spins, trying to come between them. Gets inside the 8-meter arc. That tipped away, loose. And in the crease, that'll be grabbed by Lavery. Lavery gets it ahead. Now racing with it is Shannon. Shannon loses the ball for Skyline, gets it back, trying to get it on a hop. McGowan providing heavy pressure back there. That ball over, trying to rake that up, and coming ahead with it is Schreiberg. Still loose. Churchill trying to get to it. Pulled away as that's launched over on a hop, tipped back. Arocha racing over onto the near wing. Arocha trying to rake it up. Arocha has it on the end line. Boardman trying to provide heavy pressure there. Arocha in the far corner. She tries to spin out of trouble. Arocha coming down the near wing. She'll restart. And flipped back over. Now trying to bring it ahead is Bailey. Bailey races between the hash marks. Bailey into the midfield area. That ball over to Greenberg. Greenberg walled off by Zarinsky. That ball moved right back over to Bailey. Bailey outside the far hash marks. Bailey into the offensive zone. Bailey trying to come down. Bailey now moves outside the far hash marks. She'll head back towards the top of the offensive zone. Grabbed over there by Shannon. Shannon heads between the hash marks, flips it back over to Arocha. Arocha set up about 5 yards outside the 12-meter fan with 9:13 left to go here in the third. Arocha moves it over to Shannon on the near wing. Shannon sends it even with the goal now. Underneath the goal line extended for Greenberg. Greenberg goes from the near side, back behind the goal, over to the far side. Greenberg launches it over on that far wing as that's grabbed and pulled up by Schreiber. Schreiber on the numbers on the far wing. Schreiber gets it back over to Arocha. Arocha 5 yards outside the 12-meter fan. Arocha thought about passing it, now heads inside the 12-meter fan. That over on the near wing. Shannon coming down the near wing. Shannon stops. Now trying to switch shoulders. She'll come outside by the numbers. Flip back over to over to Turf. Turf back behind the goal line, extended on the near wing. Back over to Greenberg. Greenberg trying to get between the hash marks. Greenberg cuts towards the crease. Greenberg back behind the goal line, extended. Greenberg trying to get around Wilson. Bounce shot. And that went in, as that looks like 16 to me. I believe that's Shannon. Sometimes those bigger numbers are hard to see. Is that a 16 or a 15? That looks like a 15. That would be Peabody. So Peabody with the goal for Skyline. That at 8:14.
Skyline goes by number 15, Addison Peabody with 8:14 in the third. Great assist, not sure by who.
That was Greenberg with the assist.
Greenberg with the assist.
As the Skyline faithful letting us know up here. They want to make sure they get credit. Here comes Pioneer racing down with it. 2-goal game as Boardman has it inside the 12-meter fan, inside the 8-meter arc. Shot, and Boardman puts it in. Stopping a 2-goal run for Skyline at 7:56. Boardman with the goal.
7:56 in the third. Goal by number 10, Willie Boardman for Pioneer.
6-3. Pioneer back to a 3-goal lead. Wong in to take the draw. Arocha on the other side. Webb now on the right-hand side. Joined over there by, I believe, Peabody. Cortina on the left-hand side with Schreiber. Ball loose, racing over. That raked up as that looks like Shannon. That looks like a 16. So that ball on the far sideline. Shannon able to keep it in. Shannon now heading right towards midfield. Shannon coming down the numbers on the far wing. That's sent back to Bailey. Bailey rakes it up. Bailey in the midfield area. Bailey trying to head over midfield down the far hash marks. Bailey cuts over the blockades. Lamb trying to wall her off. Schreiber back to get it in her own defensive zone. Zarinsky trying to knock it away as that pulled away. Coming away with it is Lamb. Lamb trying to get inside the 8-meter arc. Lamb thought about it, trying to send it in. That knocked away. Raked up by Churchill. Churchill underneath the goal and extended on the far wing. Trying to get to Zarinsky. That loose in front. Zarinsky over on the near wing gets it. Zarinsky. That ball won't settle down. Now she has it. That's sent back over to Heben. Heben just between the hash marks. Moved over to Schreiber. Schreiber coming down outside the near hash mark. Schreiber. Or excuse me, sorry, Scherbaum. Scherbaum feeds it back behind. Trying to make her way over. Shot and a goal by Lamb. Number 4 by Lamb. That makes it 7-3 at 6:38.
Goal by Ann Arbor Pioneer number 7, Maggie Lamb with 6:38 in the third quarter.
So Pioneer goes up by 4 goals, 7-3. Wong again to take the draw versus Arocha. As they get the ball set between the crosses. That ball popped up. Wong trying to get to it. Wong has it, tipped away. Wong again popped away, gets it back. Wong heading between the hash marks. Wong makes it over the blockades, over midfield. Wong coming down the numbers on the near wing. She spins with it. Wong gets a good screen from Thomas. Wong fires it ahead. Cortina trying to track it down. That'll have just enough momentum to go out. That will be Skyline ball as Goldstein will have it on the far sideline. 6:06 left to go here in the third. That ball over to Bailey. Bailey for Skyline. Coming down between the hash marks. Bailey makes her way out of her own defensive zone. Bailey trying to get around Lamb. Now Nyman trying to get into the way. Bailey over midfield. Bailey coming down the numbers on the near wing. Steps over into the offensive zone. Bailey sends it down on the near wing. That grab by Peabody. Peabody on the numbers on the near wing. Peabody sends it back as Turf has it even with the goal on the far wing. Turf. She flips that or fakes it over to Greenberg. Turf trying to get over the goal line extended on the far wing. That ball tipped away, but that is going to be a halo violation. That's going to be a free position for Turf. And she'll have that on the 8-meter arc. She'll be in the second hash on the left-hand side. Turf set, waiting for the whistle. As we approach the 5-minute mark in the third. Turf shot. That's a great save by Beck. Ball loose, trying to rake it up. Over grabbing it. Schreiber has it on the far wing. Schreiber. Pull back. Excuse me, that was Shannon with it. Now Arocha coming over onto the near wing. Arocha outside the hash marks on the near wing. Arocha gets it back over to Turf. Turf back behind the goal. That flipped over to Greenberg. Greenberg right back behind the goal. Now goes over to the far wing. Greenberg trying to get above the goal line extended. Thomas walls her off. That ball over to Turf. Turf underneath the goal line extended on the far wing. Turf steps right back behind the goal. Turf fires it over. Now Greenberg goes over the goal line extended on the near wing. Greenberg. And tipped away. Thomas trying to get to it. Ball loose. As Cortina trying to rake it up, grabs it on a hop. Here comes Cortina down the near wing. Cortina trying to get around Arocha. Cortina racing between the hash marks as she splits a pair of defenders. Cortina now coming outside on the far wing. That fired ahead over to Heben. That tipped away out of the cross. Pulled ahead. Coming down with it on the far wing is Churchill. Churchill fires it right back behind over to Lamb. That's Scherbaum. Scherbaum underneath the goal line extended over on the near wing to Nyman. Nyman even with the goal on the near wing. Nyman trying to get above the goal line extended on the near wing. Nyman trying to take it between the hash marks. That ball loose. Raked up. Here comes Skyline. Bringing it ahead is Goldstein. Goldstein racing on the restart over midfield. Goldstein between the hash marks into the offensive zone. Goldstein with a head of steam coming down. She'll work her way around the 12-meter fan over onto the near wing with 3 minutes left to go here in the third. Ball sent back to Arocha between the hash marks. Arocha, as he's been watching her, Arocha looks to her left. Now that flipped over to Shannon. Shannon just inside the near hash mark. Shannon trying to work around Chemestic. Shannon gets it over to Greenberg. Greenberg goes underneath the goal line extended on the near wing. Wilson watching her. Greenberg trying to get above the goal line extended on the far wing. Shot. Greenberg puts it in at 2:31. Greenberg with the score for Skyline. That makes it 7-4.
Goal by number 27, Molly Greenberg.
So she had the assist on the last goal. She got this goal to make it a 3-goal game again. Long and Arocha set up with 2:30 left to go here in the third. So 2 goals by Skyline, 2 goals by Pioneer. Skyline with the last goal. Pioneer would love to stop Skyline from getting a goal run going here. That ball popped up high. Arocha trying to get to it. Wong over on the far wing. Arocha rakes it up for Skyline. Arocha trying to come down outside the numbers, inside the numbers now. Arocha flips that back over to Bailey. Bailey racing outside the far hash marks. Bailey into the offensive zone. Bailey has that tipped away, but that will be a restart for her. She'll come back outside the 12-meter fan with 2:05 left to go here. Bailey to Arocha between the hash marks. Arocha. Calmly walks over onto the near wing. Over to Greenberg. Greenberg trying to make her way in. She had the last goal. Trying to pull that away is McGowan. Now over on the near wing, that raked up. Here comes Pioneer. Termistic has it coming down between the hash marks. Termistic floats it over to Boardman. Boardman over midfield. Boardman racing down the far hash marks into the offensive zone. Boardman floats it. That fired back. Shot and a goal put in by Scherbaum as Pioneer goes back up by 4 goals. So Scherbaum from Boardman. 1:21 left to go here in the third. 8-4, Pioneer with the lead. And Wong and Arocha set for the draw. The official looking to his left as they're waiting for one of the Skyline players to get her shoe tied. She's set. Now the ball set between the crosses. That popped up high as McGowan trying to get it out of midair. That ball sent towards midfield as that's raked up. Battle for it over on the far wing. Now pulling it away is McGowan. McGowan heading down over midfield. McGowan coming down the numbers on the far wing. McGowan, one of the 6 seniors on this team, as she tries to get around Arocha. As Arocha, one of the seniors on Skyline's team, Yang has it outside the far hash marks. Yang over to Zarinsky, another senior on this team. Now trying to bring it ahead is Lamb. Lamb fires it. That will just go out the end line, closest to it. Pioneer. Again, Lamb, another one of the seniors, as well as Thomas and Beck. That ball underneath the goal line extended on the far wing. Uhas trying to fire it. Boardman trying to rake it up. Boardman has it. Back behind the goal, works her way around the crease. Boardman over the goal line extended on the far wing. Shot and in. That is a goal for Boardman. With 11 seconds left to go here in the third, Pioneer gets another goal.
Pioneer goal by number 10, Lily Boardman.
9-4, Pioneer with a 5-goal lead. We have a 2-goal run since the last Skyline goal. Trying to keep a healthy lead here for senior night. Trying to get the sweep of Skyline. All important to get a big win versus crosstown rivals. Popped up high as McGowan trying to get to it. And pulled away by Arocha. Arocha flips it over on the near wing to Schreiberg. Schreiberg. That will do it for the third as we head into the fourth. It is Pioneer 9 and Skyline 4. We'll be right back with your final fourth quarter.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the Specialized Sports Parent Support Group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
We're ready for the draw here, opening up the fourth. That ball popped up high over onto the near wing, trying to track it down. Arocha trying to get to it right on the near sideline. Valiant attempt by Cortina to try and hold it in, but that is Skyline ball. As that's sent by Shannon over, now racing down outside the numbers on the near wing is Bailey. Bailey makes it into the offensive zone. Skyline going from right to left. Bailey trying to make her way in. Shot there. Great save by Beck. The ball loose, trying to rake it up as that's going to be a whistle. That's going to be Pioneer's ball as bringing it down the near wing. Chamistic has it outside the numbers on the near wing. Chamistic makes it over the midfield. That tipped away by Arocha, but raked up by Zarinsky. Zarinsky makes it over the restraining line into the offensive zone. Zarinsky just outside the near hash, inside the 8-meter arc. Shot! And Zarinsky with the goal at 11:06. Pioneer makes it 10-4. So Zarinsky with her first goal of the game. 11:05 left to go here in the fourth. Again, this is the final home game for the team, senior night. So again, they will go on the road to Livonia-Stevenson, and then they'll have a playoff game at Livonia-Stevenson to start off the MHSAA tournament. Ball down is trying to rake it up on the near wing. It's Cortina. Cortina over the restraining line into the offensive zone. Cortina makes it inside the 12-meter fan. Cortina and around the 8-meter arc. Gets it back over to Zarinsky. Zarinsky sends it over to Webb. Webb moves it. Now trying to make her way in is Lamb. Lamb goes underneath the goal line, extended on the near wing. Lamb makes her way around the crease. Lamb trying to get out in front. Shot and a goal by Lamb. That's number 5 for Lamb, and that makes it 11-4.
Another Pioneer goal by Maggie Lamb, her 5th of the night with 10:36 in the fourth quarter.
Pioneer has extended the lead to 7. All set is again Wong and Arocha get set on the blockades for the draw. Cortina on the near wing with Shannon. Webb on the far wing. Ball set between the crosses. There's the whistle, popped up, straight up, trying to get to it. Cortina trying to flash in front of it. Arocha has it. Arocha just outside the numbers on the near wing. She loses it but gets it back. Arocha down on the sideline into the offensive zone. Arocha fires it over to Greenberg. Greenberg heads towards the goal line extended. Greenberg goes underneath the goal line extended. Greenberg loses it. That raked up by Wilson. Wilson has it back behind her own goal. Wilson coming down the far, outside the far hash marks. Wilson feeds it ahead into the midfield area. That raked up and coming ahead with it. Right over midfield is Hardy. Hardy Down the numbers into the offensive zone. Hardy flips it back on a bounce. That grab by Zarinsky is a whistle. That is going to be Pioneer ball. Zarinsky starts off with a restart, trying to fire that over to Lamb. That raked up between the hash marks as Webb has it. Webb right at the 12-meter fan. Webb comes down on the near hash marks. Webb now steps back, flips it. That grab between the hash marks by Nyman. Nyman looks back over to her left. Nyman gets that over to Hardy. Hardy just inside the far hash marks. Hardy trying to make her way in. Hardy trying to get a shot away. That knocked down. Loose ball raked up by Cortina. Cortina comes between the hash marks. Cortina inside the 8-meter arc. That popped away from her. Grabbed by Webb. Webb trying to make her way through traffic on the far wing. Over to Zarinsky outside the far hash marks. Zarinsky flips it over to Cortina just on the 12-meter fan. Cortina floats it over to Webb, as that should be a slashing call. So Pioneer will have a free position. Webb will have it on the left center hash of the 8-meter arc. There's the whistle. Webb comes in, shot at a goal. Webb puts it in at 8:40. So Pioneer goal by Webb. That is her first of the game. 12-4, Pioneer with the 8-goal lead. They currently have a 5-goal run going since 1:21 in the third. Set up to take the draw as Thomas goes out on a substitution. Ball set between the crosses, between Arocha and Wong. They've been battling all game long, right at the blockades. Ball popped up high. Loose ball over on the near wing. Arocha rakes it up. Arocha has it at midfield. Arocha trying to spin out of trouble as Wong trying to keep in front of her. Arocha coming down inside the offensive zone. Arocha outside the numbers on the near wing as she spins. Arocha goes between the hash marks. Arocha steps back, flips that over to Shannon. Shannon just outside the near hash marks, now over on the near wing. That grabbed, fired over by Nalepa. Nalepa sends it over to Greenberg, even with the goal. Now underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. Greenberg back over to Nalepa. Nalepa just inside the numbers, moves it back between. Schreiber has it as she's walled off, goes outside the far hash mark. Schreiber. Now that ball all the way over. Peabody gets it over to Arocha. Arocha just outside the far hash marks. Arocha comes between the hash marks. Arocha surveys the field. She's about 3 yards outside of the 12-meter fan. Arocha looks to her left. Now flips it over to the left to Shannon. Shannon loses the ball, rakes it up outside the numbers on the near wing. Shannon comes inside the numbers, skies that back over to Arocha. Arocha between the hash marks. Arocha trying to get ahead of steam inside the 12-meter fan. Boardman walling her off. Arocha flips it back behind over to Turf. Turf has it underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. Turf trying to get in front. Turf as that ball stolen away. Here comes Yang with it for Pioneer. Yang making her way down the field, trying to spit a player of defenders. Yang racing ahead with it. She'll go over midfield. Yang coming down into the offensive zone. She fires it over onto the near wing, just out of Zarinsky's reach, but Zarinsky will rake it up before going to the end line. Zarinsky gets it over to Nyman. Nyman back behind the goal, now underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. That's sent back, is grabbed, faking the shot, now putting it in. Lamb, that goes just wide. Zarinsky closest to it as she runs it out with 6:30 left to go here in the fourth. 12-4, Pioneer with the lead. Zarinsky on the end line, moves it over to Nyman. Nyman underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. Nyman trying to make her way around. Nyman stops, flips it back over to Yang. Yang on the 12-meter fan on the near wing. Gets that back over, raked up on the near wing by Heben. Heben just outside the hash marks on the near wing. That back to Nyman. Back to Zarinsky. Zarinsky battling with Bailey. Now over on the far wing. That's sent by Churchill out. Nyman trying to get away from it. Nyman over to Yang. That just loose, raked up by Heben. As that ball trying to get to it. Loose again. Lamb trying to get to it. Now Heben trying to rake it up. Still a scrum on the far wing. Now Boardman races over to get to it. Boardman rakes it up on the far sideline. Boardman trying to make her way between the numbers. Boardman gets between the hash marks. She spins with it. Boardman has that knocked away, but that raked up by Lamb. Lamb fakes the shot. Lamb coming over onto the far wing. Lamb even with the goal line on the near wing. Switches spots with Zorinsky. Lamb in along the end line, going from the near side to the far side. That flip back over to Churchill. Churchill underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. Churchill trying to get her way past. Shot there. As that got caught in the equipment for Laverie. She has it. Didn't go in, so she's happy about that. 5 minutes left to go here in the fourth. That ball coming down the far wing. Here comes Skyline over midfield. Continue to race ahead with it. Bailey over the offensive restraining line. Bailey over on the far wing. That move back over to Arocha. Arocha comes right to the 12-meter fan. Arocha cuts towards her right. She's walled off back there by Boardman coming in. Arocha with a shot. Great save by Beck, but put in on the rebound as that was put in by number 27, Greenberg. No goal. They're talking about it. She might have been in the crease as she was right there. We'll see as the officials talk with it. No goal. I believe that was a crease violation for Skyline. Here comes Pioneer coming down the near wing. Chamistic has it, trying to get around Arocha. Chamistic now heads back deeper in her defensive zone, trying to get a little room to work as she's trying to get around Arocha. Arocha providing blanket coverage. Back over there. And fired ahead. Loose Heben trying to get to it. That ball raked up but knocked away by Boardman. Trying to grab it back there is Gannemet. Ball is Lamb trying to pull it ahead now. And it's going to be Pioneer as Churchill had it. Now Lamb coming inside the hash marks on the far wing. Lamb flips it over. Grabbed by Zorinsky, but that ball able to slip away. Zorinsky trying to get to it. As that ball still loose. Trying to come away with it as Goldstein had it. And coming down the numbers on the far wing. Here comes Skyline over midfield into the offensive zone. And brought ahead is Goldstein. Even with the goal line extended on the far wing. There's a bounce as that's over to Turf. Turf over on that far wing. Turf goes underneath the goal line extended. 3:12 left to go here in the fourth. Pioneer with the 12-4 lead. As Greenberg has the ball, even with the goal on the far wing. Greenberg back over to Turf. Turf underneath the goal line extended on the near wing. Turf gets it as that goes back over to Nalepa. Nalepa over, fired over to Arocha. Arocha between the hash marks. Arocha looks to her left, now her right. Arocha gets it over. Schreiberg has it outside the numbers on the far wing. Set right back behind to Turf. Turf trying to get above the goal line extended. Turf even with the goal on that far wing. And sent back over as Gannemet has it. Over to Arocha. Arocha working her way around the 8-meter arc. Arocha now outside the 12-meter fan on the far wing. 2:25 left to go here in the fourth. Arocha trying to work herself free. As that ball back behind, there's going to be a halo violation. That ball is going to be a restart on the dot behind the goal line extended on the far wing for Arocha. As Chamistic goes about 5 yards back behind her. Arocha skies it over onto the near wing. Loose ball trying to rake it up. Boardman had it. Turf trying to get to it. Now Chamistic has it. Chamistic coming outside the hash marks on the far wing. Chamistic trying to work herself free. Heads towards midfield. Chamistic now outside the near hash marks on the near numbers into the midfield area. That launched ahead, grabbed by Zorinsky. Zorinsky comes between the hash marks. Zorinsky makes it into the offensive zone. Zorinsky. That ball loose, trying to rake it up on the far wing. Grabbed by Cortina on the far sideline. Cortina makes her way Even with the goal on the far wing with 1:14 left to go. Zarinsky on the numbers on the far wing. Sent to Lamb. Lamb on the far hash marks. Lamb comes between the hash marks. Now over onto the near wing to Heben. 1 minute left to go here in the fourth. Heben on the near wing. Heben flies it over, trying to get to it is McGowan. McGowan in midair. Now Cortina gets it. Cortina trying to fire it over. Heben gets it on a bounce. 45 seconds left to go here in the fourth. Heben, shot knocked down in midair. Raked up. Loverly has it in the crease. 35 seconds left to go. That ball into the midfield area. Trying to rake it up is Horvath. Horvath has it. Ball won't settle down. Still trying to battle. I think that's Bailey over there trying to get to it. Here comes Arocha. Arocha. 18 seconds left over midfield. Arocha races down. She'll go over the goal line extended. That fired over onto the far wing. Bounce shot. Popped up high. Loose over onto the near wing. Pioneer trying to get the ball. 4 seconds left to go. Now 3 seconds. Arocha has it back behind. 1 second, and that will do it. Pioneer with the win as they take it 12-4 and sweep Skyline for their final home win of the season. The next game's for